This episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron is the leading meal kit delivery service in the U.S., and while many people know what Blue Apron is, not everyone knows about what kinds of meals you can get from Blue Apron, like strip steaks and potatoes, spicy mapled collard greens, a steakhouse-inspired favorite with a delicious twist, chili-infused maple syrup. That sounds delicious. With incredible ingredients and chef-designed recipes, Blue Apron lets you see what the power of food can do. Blue Apron delivers fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes right to your door that can be cooked in under 45 minutes. The menu changes every week based on what's in season, and it's designed by Blue Apron's in-house culinary team. They offer 12 new recipes each week, and customers can pick 2, 3, or 4 recipes based on what fits their schedule. Blue Apron sends out only non-GMO ingredients and meat with no added hormones. Blue Apron is treating Smoking Tire listeners to $30 off your first order if you visit blueapron.com/tire. That's $30 off your first order at blueapron.com/tire. Check out this week's menu and get $30 off your Blue Apron order at blueapron.com/tire. I'm excited for this, guys. I love cooking. If you follow my Instagram, you see I cook a lot. And the best thing about Blue Apron is you don't have excess, so you don't have waste. They give you the amount of food and spices and everything that you need to make a meal, and you don't have any extra. You're not throwing away half an onion. You're not throwing away half a pepper and half a thing of chicken stock. You know, they give you what you need, and they don't have anything to waste. So from a Californian, it's good for the environment. Blueapron.com/tire, $30 off. Mechanican.com, that's MECHANICAN.com. Mechanican. You double the can. Mechanican.com. It's a social network for car, truck, motorcycle enthusiasts, anything with an engine. Mechanican's got it for you. It's got the similar functionality as most social networks, so you create a profile, add followers, create or join groups, and direct message people. But what separates it from other social networks is the garage and projects features. In the garage, everyone has the opportunity to showcase anything they own with an engine. Throw any car or truck you have in the garage and showcase what you love about the car by writing info and posting photos and videos. In the projects section, each person gets the opportunity to share with their followers and the public anything they're personally working on or someone's working on for them. If they want to share how they installed a supercharger in your BRZ, Projects allows them to create a project for the install and write out detailed information of how they performed it, share it with the world. Mechanican.com, that's MECHANICAN.com. Check it out. It is a new social network for anything with an engine. Mechanican.com. Are you searching for a vehicle? Do you want a new vehicle? Are you just one of those kind of late night internet for sale ad browsers like yours truly? Here's what you need, folks. Autotempest.com. Autotempest.com is a one site that searches all the top car listing sites in one place. Cars.com, eBay Motors, and more and more. All the kind of sites where you'd have to open like 7 tabs at once. This does it all in one place, including many individual dealers that list with Auto Tempest and private sellers. You can compare the results from Auto Trader and all of Craigslist all over nationwide, not just a 200-mile radius of your city, so you can find the exact car you want for the best price without wasting a ton of time browsing all of these different sites. It saves you time. It puts it all in one place. It puts it all in one tab, and it saves you time. And when I'm thinking about how to blow my money, I start at Autotempest.com. They have been a great sponsor of this show, and so we are happy to have them. Lastly, if you're into watches, as I am super into watches. Cameron Weiss, the watchmaker and CEO of the Weiss Watch Company, and myself have a new podcast called Watch and Listen. It is all about watches. We're 5 episodes in right now. It's great. This week is celebrity chef Tyler Florence is on the program talking about his watches. And if you wanted to learn more about watches, get into the hobby, or just, hear me and Cameron Weiss ramble about nerdy watch stuff for an hour every week, check out the Watch and Listen podcast. It's available on iTunes podcasts. It's available all the places you would get podcasts from Android, or it's available shoutengine.com/watch and listen. The and is spelled out, watch and listen. listen. And also check out all the Smoking Tire social network feeds. We post them there too. And now, let's get into it. This episode of the Smoking Tire podcast, we've got a great friend of the show. I don't think we've ever had him on before, but we're certainly going to have him on again. He is the co-founder and just great brand representative for what they do over at 1552 Wheels. Great fun guest. This is a really good show. Let's get into it with Mr. Matt Crook.
Ooh, what's up, kids? Here we is. Smoking Tire Podcast, episode, I don't know, 300 and something. we're in the low threes, the 3 aughts, as it was. We're doing well over here. Welcome to the show on a weirdly foggy and cold afternoon in LA. We are chilling, some Lagunitas, and Matt Crook.
That's right.
Matt Crook of 1552 Wheels is in the building.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh, just it's kind of it's been a crazy last year of just roller coaster rides, and it's kind of bleeding into 2018. But I see
already on January 5th or whatever it is.
Of course,
already
in the automotive world, right? People, I'm still planning for 2018.
Are you
theoretically, because it's not actually here in terms of like any sort of automotive.
Yeah,
everybody's got their cars away for the winter. The only guys
really here in Los Angeles.
Well, not here in Los Angeles.
We drive our cars all year, brah.
While I love Los Angeles is full of lackadaisical people when it comes to car shows, right?
Because and Asians.
Well, lots of Asians, right?
Yeah.
But they like wheels.
They drive their cars too. Yeah.
Right. Now, they can wake up at 7 and I don't want to go to this show. I'll go to the one next weekend. Right?
Yeah.
But everybody else, they wake up when it's spring. I mean, they're hitting every show, doing everything that's there, spending every single dollar through.
Oh, so you're saying the driving of the cars is there, but not the enthusiasm.
Correct.
I know where you're going.
Right.
So other cultures that aren't California
have
a driving season and then a modifying season. Is that where you're going with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But the heavy stuff, the heavy modifying is done during winter, right?
That's what I mean. So, the modifying season.
Right.
Yeah.
But wheels are always like, I got to get wheels on the car. So it's always going to be the kind of last piece of the puzzle, right?
Your business is all done in the week before SEMA.
Yeah. Literally. Oh my gosh. Yes. No.
Well, let's take it back before we're looking at days here. Let's bring it way back.
Yeah, let's go back.
Where is Matt Crook from?
Matt Crook. I'm just outside of Los Angeles.
You're from here.
I'm actually one of those weirdos, that's actually from...
You're the only one.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, right, you go to a show and it's, all right, he's from Los Angeles. And like 3 people raise their hands and it's kind of, super confusing. But
I hear that in 1992, there was actually 7 people here. Yeah. Everyone else just got here since then.
It was rough when there were 7 people. I mean, going through high school, it was just
It was like you and Dave.
Yeah.
That was really it.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But we're here, Scotto came in and then everything went to just...
it's you and Scotto have a long history together, which is
I've known Scotto since the 90s. I mean,
tall bearded folk,
guys with like 12 cars and none of them run. I just came over in a rental car.
Did you really?
Jeep Renegade Trailhawk.
Is there a sadder vehicle out there right now? It's not
the Dodge Journey. Perhaps.
The Journey's
that could have been bad. Well, it was like Hyundai Elantra or the Trailhawk. I just had to try. I had to try it. Right? It's kind of like one of those. It's like I don't know.
Why are you in a rental car?
Come on, I've got way too many cars.
And how many of them run?
None, right? Well, okay, hold on. I've got one. Well, my wife's car just blew up. Her brake booster just went out. It's a European car.
What's your newest car?
2004 Vw Touareg. Now, immediately when you say that, you understand why I don't have any vehicles. Yeah. I also have a 2004 GTI that my wife's currently driving.
Except it doesn't have a brake booster?
No, that one has a brake booster.
Oh, it does.
But the downpipe just separated from the exhaust. So she's driving to work and pulling up with just, the turbo. It sounds like a diesel with no exhaust. She pulls up all of the owners of MGM, president, looking at her like... Who's this kid with this modified 19-inch wheels? I mean, I want to believe that I like newer cars, but
the ones you have aren't new enough. That's the problem.
Yeah,
the new cars you have are old cars.
But that's like me and Scotto, right? But those are new cars to me. See, me and Scotto like this. We just none of our cars. We should buy another one. Well, if you're gonna buy one of those, those cool cars that you wanted 10 years ago that are now cheap.
I know. I've been through the Fox body rabbit hole. I know.
Yeah.
I have the world's most expensive cheap Fox body. It's that's life.
That's the best though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It is the best.
Every car I have is cheap. I haven't spent any money on any of my cars. They're all going up in value, which is great.
Well, that's the thing. That's the good part about buying cars at minimum cool.
Right.
We talk about that a lot. The cycle, it's like new car cool, enthusiast cool, minimum cool, ironic cool,
Right.
and then back onto enthusiast cool.
Right. And the thing is, when I start, I'm an idiot. Until all of a sudden it's cool.
All of a
and then
sudden
I'm
you're
real
a genius.
Cool. All of a sudden they're like, yeah, this guy's a baller.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh, dude, if you bought a 964 turbo in 2004,
Yeah.
you were a moron.
No, I know.
And now look who's laughing.
I know.
Scotto.
I mean, I bought one.
Did you? Do you have
I have a 965. Yeah.
Do you really?
I bought it 6.5 years ago for $9,500.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
How broken was it?
No engine or no transmission.
Oh, significantly broken.
Right, so it's a little bit broken, but
Does it-
But you
is
know
it
what?
run now?
My dream car is not a 964 turbo. My dream car is a 3.8 RSR.
Okay.
But if I had the whatever millions of dollars to buy a 3.8 RSR, what would I do? I'd modify it because I don't want a stock 3.8 RSR. So
Yeah.
then I'm just stupid. That doesn't work. So my dream car is what I'm building. So we're putting together I just picked up a 993 bottom end, 964 mechanical top end. We're gonna go through it, do a bunch of different stuff.
And that's going in that engineless car?
right.
Awesome. So you
Yeah.
get a wide body with a big NA motor.
And a sequential gearbox.
Oh,
with
really?
Wave. Yeah. So
fun.
So kind of just this is my dream car, right? It's kind of next to the Ferrari F40, which has become just unbelievably attainable or unattainable.
Yeah. Well, they're even at $1 million, it's still a buy, isn't it?
Right.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It just I can't. It makes no sense. Well, it makes sense.
It
Sorry.
makes sense.
It does. That one. Sorry.
You
it
ever
makes
drive
sense.
one? It makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't always, but
That one
you have a
makes
go
sense.
in one of those. I went as a passenger. I couldn't. You may have trouble. Have you gotten in one before?
I don't fit very well.
Your
at
right
all.
leg, right? My right leg
I-
doesn't fit.
Actually, it's like many cars. Actually,
So disappointing.
Airplanes, roller coasters.
I drove this guy down in Texas. ATS Racing built a 308 with a big single turbo on it, and it
Really?
makes like 570 at the wheels. I drove that, and I imagine in a straight line at least, that's kind of what an F40 will
I'm
feel.
all about it. I just there's something about that car. I mean, just
About the F40, there's a lot of things about the F40.
I know.
There's a lot of things.
But it's like the one thing, because there's so many things, it just becomes one thing. I just don't even understand how to actually explain the car.
that was pretty race car-y.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, especially like in Europe with the Lexan windows and shit. Shit was dope.
All carbon, the wing was attached. Like you couldn't take the wing off. It didn't matter if somebody said I didn't like it, unless
That is true.
you're somebody that wanted to cut up
What's
an F40. But
I'd say it's more baller to have a wing that no one can take off than it is that after Lamborghini added one, it's like a gag.
exactly, right?
Yeah. They say in the movie it'd look nice, so we put it there.
Add some fender flares.
So, should we go right into the huge dollar? I drove that Gunther Works thing. You seen that car?
I just rode it.
You just have a go in it?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
I was actually blown away by the car. I mean, to be honest, it's a lot for the street. I mean, you push that button, right? You push the button. Did you push the
sport
turbo button?
The sport button.
It's like, dude, that's like kit right there, man. I didn't know if it was just gonna like go faster and just blast off. I don't know.
It does have a sport button.
Yeah.
We talked about it on last week's show. There it is. Tim was like, that's a good photograph, Timmy. That shows the front fenders. So these guys this guy's Gunther Works, which is actually Vorsteiner. It's the guys who make Vorsteiner.
Yeah.
And then with Joey Seeley, Emotion Engineering, and then Roth Sport, who built the engine.
Yeah.
So they basically took this 993, remade the entire body minus the doors in carbon fiber, but they widened the front track to be even with the rear track, which is crazy.
Do you have a top shot? Can you find
the above shot? That one right there shows it.
Well,
yeah, we didn't have a straight over.
There is one.
Is there an
somewhere out
overhead
there.
shot
Yeah,
somewhere?
And
there's one on Gunther Works' website, Tim. There's a direct overhead.
Just the shot is so 959. Just the way that the fenders and the humps are, and then if you actually look at the rear wing, it's from the top view. It's very 935. It has this Moby Dick feel to it, where the wing kind of comes back with the fenders. And as a designer, it's just unbelievable. It did such a good job with the
Keep
car.
going.
And
it's on this page. Yeah.
It's done right. I mean,
That's it.
Look at that. The fenders and the wing. I mean, that's so cool.
So as it shows in this image for those watching, the front and rear track are now 63 inches wide, and that's measured from the center of the front wheels and the center of the rear wheels. It's not a square stance, so it's not like it's running 315s at all four corners. It's 245 fronts and 345 rears, but they push that front track well out, and so The rear track of a brand new GT3 RS is 62.6, and this is 63 at the front and the rear. It then has electric power steering and electric air conditioning, which is pretty neat. Joey set up the chassis, and Joey was on this show. You want to hear him talk about Porsche chassis. He knows what he's doing. And then the motor is a 4-liter Roth Sport air-cooled, making 430 horsepower, and the car weighs 2660. It rips. I put up a video last night just of me driving it silently down the canyon at some pace, and it was delightful.
It is. It's just such a good. It's so easy, but man, when you lay into it,
it's very, very fast.
It's insane.
It was glorious. Allegedly, now I didn't. Allegedly, a driver that looks suspiciously like me, not me, but just someone who looked really awfully a lot like me, was paced down a certain canyon road, only in a section 5.5 miles long, only 5 seconds slower than the brand new GT3 RS.
Wow.
Guy looked a lot like me. Definitely not me.
No.
He resembled me in certain ways. But so that car, there's video of it, don't worry, and I'm writing for Run Track. It's oof.
It is.
It's $500,000, but goddamn, that's a car.
No, it is. And I guess they're planning on producing 25 of them, right?
I think they're sold out.
Right.
That's what Peter said.
I believe it.
He said they're sold out, which is crazy. The wing, I don't know about the wing. It's not my taste.
Right. I guess, but they're offering different. You can get different.
You can get ducktail. He said you can do ducktail if you wanted. Look at that motor.
But I love the wing because
I totally understand what people do.
I mean,
it's very like dimensional. Like there's a lot going on.
The roof line, the top. He said it was from a 997, I think GT3 or 991.
It's from no. The wing is from a
the vertical
993
or the horizontal. Plane.
Yeah.
That's, I guess that's from I don't remember exactly which. It's from one of the newer Porsche GT3s.
That makes sense.
RS or whatever. And but it's kind of a normally you don't change things like that. Like the things that they're doing is not okay, right? Like Porsche has this awkward line where it's like, oh yeah, man, you could totally go. Whoa, man, did you just change something that's not Porsche?
Yeah.
So there's this awkward line you have to walk whenever you're building a Porsche. Where like that's cool, that's not cool. Oh, that guy's over. I mean. There's this awkward purity or purist type thing going on with the Porsches that has never been there for me, especially in modifying cars. Because for whatever reason, there's just, and I understand it because even for me, there's this pure aspect. I don't want to throw an LS in the back of my SC. Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd probably be fun.
The aftermarket in general is frowned upon. Like, it's okay if you put stuff from other Porsches in there.
Of course.
But don't take it outside the company.
Yeah. And that's...
I know what you mean.
There's just this weird thing there. And I think that in modifying a wing like that for the car, they did such a good job of how it fits the body lines of the cars. It's very 993.
It's not bad looking. It's just very extroverted.
Yeah.
My taste personally, I'm like I dial it back a little bit. I would ducktail it.
Right.
Just my taste.
Yeah.
But it's not like ew. I just think it's
right.
It's highly extroverted.
It is.
In fairness, like I got a friend who's got one of those 993 RSs, like the Euro ones.
Okay.
He's over in England and he's got one, and I don't particularly like how that one looks either. And that one's right out of the factory. So. I mean, I'm sure it does something.
Yeah,
right. Definitely does something.
I mean, I guess
unless they're like Lamborghini, and then it doesn't.
Right. But I like both, right? I mean, I'm doing. I mean, my SC right now doesn't even have anything on it.
Was that your black one?
Yeah.
Go back to that. That's nice. Pull that up.
And that was from Ultimate Porsche magazine.
It's like a partial outlaw build.
It's a beater, but just awesome. I mean, this car is just such a cool car because I can just drive the piss out of it. I don't worry about rock chips, door dings. I mean, there's oxidation all over the car. It's just fun, right? I get to enjoy a Porsche like most people don't get a chance to because they're so damn afraid of a rock chip.
Well, the good thing about cars like of that period with these 911s is like they're kind of like just good, honest cars. There's nothing individually extraordinary about them, but certain people place them in lights that they are something that they aren't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, it's like with my Fox body, like that car, it's like just dirty enough, and it's like the right line. We're like, I'll go out and beat the shit of it, and I don't care. There's rock chips, whatever.
It looks used and enjoyed, not taken care of. Like my engine, that's the engine bay there. It was from
up there.
So I mean, it's
ITBs.
yeah. I mean, it's fully
Hell
it's
yeah.
got, high compression.
What kind of
pistons
motors in
and
that?
It's a 3-liter with high compression Trom pistons. They're 11-to-1 with the Borla TWM throttle bodies.
Good looking motor, my friend.
Thank you.
Is that a carbon fiber like fan housing, or is that just the picture from this far away?
It's actually a raw fiberglass.
Oh,
so
cool.
like the RSRs. So with this
Yeah.
car, what I wanted this car to be is 917 Group 4, kind of this inspired car that it's rough around the edges, but when you get into it, it's on KW Club Sport 2A adjustable coilovers, no more
Nice.
torsion bars, full front mount oil cooler.
That's Matt Crook on Instagram, CROOKE. If you want to check out these pictures.
And it's a race car. I mean, full limited slip, short ratio steering rack. The Recaro.
Yeah, but you street drive that car.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun because it's just everything you want it to be, and you don't have to worry about it.
I'm gonna end up with like a dozen 911s, and I definitely want to have one that has fucked up paint. And is kind of ugly for sure.
Just the story. I mean, this car was at SEMA. I took this car to SEMA last year.
I love that shit.
Obviously, is not a SEMA car.
No, now I don't know, dude. I saw cars that were like fucking. People just brought out like a roll cage with wheels on it. I saw some weird Survivor, shit.
The expectation of a Porsche is always something. I mean, it's like a hot rod, right? You've got the derelict cars, and from Icon, you got like different stuff. Chuckles Garage brought out his. I mean,
I saw that Safari car.
Oh, the Safari.
The Chuckles bit. I heard that guy. I don't know that guy, but I heard he got fucked in the fires. I heard he had a bad go of it in the fires.
Did. Scott actually had his house and I guess his house shop burnt down. Oof. Super rough, but like. As talking to him actually yesterday, and actually as all business owners, you've been through the ups and downs. You just got to fight back, right? And it's kind of like when your car gets jacked up. Well, you're gonna do whatever you possibly can as an enthusiast to make sure that you come out on top in the end in regards to like trying to do what you can to get more parts or do something different with it. So I think he'll be okay.
That's such a bummer to hear about.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he literally went to SEMA for one day and then flew back home because he needed to be there for his family. And
sucks.
It does. I mean, we have friends that lost houses in the fire as well. Up there, and it's rough, but super good dude. I mean, it's super rad. But cars like that, back to where we were at, it's more unexpected at SEMA, but it's becoming this thing where it's exciting for people because they see things that are actually used, things that are a little more approachable and understandable for them, where it's not just this out of reach vehicle that they've seen everywhere.
I'd like to see more drivers at SEMA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's definitely there's room in the world for show cars and shit, but I like to see drivers. I liked seeing like race cars, in the as raced kind of condition or whatever.
So cool. I love that.
I loved when Lee, who, is building my Safari car, when he went to Pebble Beach having not washed his car for a year,
best.
I was like, you're so fucking gangster.
That's the best.
That shit is so dope.
No, I think I love everything that Lee's doing. So it's so awesome what Lee's doing.
Oh, he's great. My car, they start on Monday. I'm so excited about it.
There you go. It just breathes fun, right? I mean, I think like so much of what we have now in the automotive industry is not fun. It's just outdoing the next guy.
There's a lot of that. The internet hasn't helped, man.
No.
The internet doesn't, it focuses, with Instagram and everything, it focuses kind of on the outward and not so much on the inward and the ability to brag about your horsepower, is more important than the fact that like, fucking a decent driver could smoke this fool in a rental car, or something like that. Have you been to a track day and been humbled by a real pro before like that?
Of course. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous because you look, no, you can't do that. It doesn't matter what you think you can do.
Dude, when you ever go to like, the beginner driving schools, which are the best. I mean, it's like, it's important to get these lessons and, and you're in like a Formula Ford that weighs 1,100 pounds on slicks and the instructor's in a Mazda 3 automatic and like mobbing you and you're like, oh, I got nothing.
No, that is awesome. Wasn't there some episode recently where I forget what it was it on Grand Tour? I don't even know. It was somebody racing some car on the track and there was an old F1 car that was in the rain and they were trying to do a lap, or what was that?
Was it new?
Yeah, something new. Yeah.
It might have been new. I'm not caught up on Grand Tour.
Yeah.
I watched the first two and then
yeah, I mean, I've watched, I don't know how many I've watched, but
I've tried to give it a go, but I can't.
It's different.
I can't like it. I think I might just be tired of their shtick. Which is like, they had like a 15-year run where it was like the best thing on earth.
You can't complain about
my
that.
girl is like she's as unfiltered as I am, but but worse. She's like she's worse and not like she's not as mean as me, but like she'll watch something and then like we watched the second episode of the Grand Tour and turned it off and she went, "That was awful." Like just and I was like, and even in my head I was watching it and going, "Oh, this is better than the first episode." And she was like, "That was awful." And I was like, "Oh, maybe my judgment's a little off."
Start feeling a little insecure, right?
Yeah,
like are you not sure exactly?
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
But what's happening in the world of wheels? Do we want to talk about wheels? Do you want to talk about work? What do you want to talk about? What have you been doing in your life with your cars and all this? Your Instagram's full of like all this crazy these old Audis and
that's my 74 Audi Fox.
That's your Fox?
Yeah, 73, 30,000 original miles. That was actually on display at the LA Auto Show with Prestone. So it's just a little cruiser. I mean, it's all original. Just kind of we did it was 1.5, punched it out to 1.6. So now it makes 60 horsepower.
I mean, let's be honest. Was that worth the trouble?
I mean, when you got it apart anyway, right? And you got some extra, just throw those ones in, right? Instead.
Oh, are you a victim of the while you're in there's?
I mean, you have to be.
My Mustang was a dark rabbit hole of while you're in there's.
Yeah.
That's how you end up rebuilding.
Porsche, see, these aren't bad while you're in theirs, right? Like these old Volkswagens, it's kind of like, it's an 8-valve. It's like, $20, no problem.
Is that the same engine as like a Golf?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's
or a Rabbit
it's set up differently, so it's not transverse, it's longitudinal. So
really? Is that a rear drive car?
It's like no.
Audi was doing that then.
That's just Audi's thing, right?
Yeah, that's their thing, huh?
It's always been that way, but.
Why did they start with that? Was that a torque steer minimizing thing?
To be honest,
did they even fucking have torque steer? They made like 60 horsepower. What the fuck was torque steer?
I don't think we're seeing torque steer out of that guy.
That's a weird thing. Saab was doing it too.
Yeah.
I guess they were just like, just take that other one and just flip it around.
I think it might have been easier for maybe doing all-wheel drive or where they were headed, right? When they were building a car, putting it together. I mean, I don't know. Back then, this was 70. This is 74. So in 1970, I believe it's 69 or 70. That's when Volkswagen purchased Audi, from Auto Union.
Oh,
right?
okay. So this was like one of the very early. I don't have this knowledge.
This came out before the Volkswagen Rabbit here in the States, right? Because the Volkswagen Rabbit was 75. That's so this true. Is actually this right here is basically pre-Volkswagen water-cooled days.
Is that a 4-door or 2-door?
4-door.
It's pretty dope.
Thanks.
I'm a fan of that.
Put some Euro bumpers on it. Guy, one of my good friends, Matt at MF Auto, he's over in Tennessee, kind of helped put the car together. And actually, it's funny. I bought the car. I didn't see the thing until 4 years after. I'd already gone to 2 car shows until it finally got to me. I'm like, oh, here it is. This thing looks awesome, right? And
did it have trophies in it? Like it won on the way?
Yeah, actually, it did.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But it came over and it was great, except for the title got lost in the mail.
Oof.
Like always, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. So now I got to get a title for it, but whatever.
You have to get a title bond and all that shit?
I don't even know, man. It's like one of those things where, but I bought it from my buddy. He didn't title it. So it was from the guy in Colorado. We're talking. So the weird thing about this car is actually in 2007, I tried buying this car on Craigslist, right? Mm-hmm. Loved it, I wanted it so bad, and it disappeared. Super pissed. All of a sudden, about 5 years ago, my buddy Chris Collier, he says, "Hey man, I'm gonna sell my Audi. If you want to know anybody." I'm like, "What Audi?" I'm like, "Did you buy that thing in Colorado?" He's like, "Yeah, I brought it in." I'm like, "You bastard. Yeah, I'll take it." So I picked it up off of him and we did like it's automatic. It's just a little cruiser.
How many of those could be like left though? I don't know if I've ever seen one of those in person.
I brought this out and I'm like, so it's me, right? Doing this cruise from the Peterson to like LA Auto Show. It's me and like the Ring Brothers, okay? Yeah. So it's me and my automatic Fox just cruising with like, their whatever, they did the Javelin out there and the Pantera, and it's me and my stupid Audi Fox, barely making it over there. But it's amazing, oh, my dad had 2 of those. Oh man, oh wow. Oh man, I haven't seen one of those in forever.
No one's seen them in forever,
No, Larry Chen still didn't believe this was an actual car. He literally took so many photos of it and asked me, he's like, "Really, is your car? This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this." And it's just, I mean, it is true. It is a pretty special car, but the hard thing about something like this, right, where Now in Germany, it's different. I could take this thing to Europe and sell it for a great amount of money. But here, it's like, if I went to put it up for sale, right? You got the one guy who's like way into Audis. I'll give you 20 grand for this thing, and the next guy's like, well, that's pretty good. I'll give you 2 grand.
Yeah.
There's no. If I put this thing under your trailer, unless the right guy happens
the
to pop on there,
the audience is so narrow for it. Yeah, I completely understand. Now,
fit there.
Having said that, I know someone who wants a fucking Fox really, really bad. I mean, so if you do want to sell it,
I am actually looking to sell it,
that very guy for you.
I'm replacing the dashboard, and then it's
really pretty car. Is it? I mean, I'm looking at a small picture, but is it as nice as it looks in that picture?
It really is. I mean, it's got some little scratches, some little dents.
Yeah,
but the interior, besides the dashboard, which I'm having redone, is just. Fresh. It looks like nobody ever touched the interior. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool little cruiser, and I mean, I've got a lot of different cars, and I've got my 2 911s. I've got a 1973 Mercedes 280 SE.
Ooh.
That I'm doing up V8, and then I've got a
4.5.
No.
It's the 3.5.
Yeah, it's a little guy. The 4.5 sounds great, but man, you never want to try and even keep that thing running.
Really?
No, there's not any. You can't even get parts for it.
I drove one for 5 minutes, and it was glorious to drive.
It is
very nice.
But man, when it doesn't run, you're just bummed.
Fair enough.
And I got it from a buddy's dad. My buddy.
Is it a convertible?
No, sedan.
Oh, cool.
I think sedans are. It's weird that they're the cheapest one, but I think they're the coolest because it's just so gangster, right?
Yeah, they're not necessarily the enthusiast choice. Although whenever you see a sedan like slammed on bags, you're like,
it's gunmetal gray with red interior. It's awesome.
You must know that fool rolls around L.A. in that right-hand drive.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
The one slammed on bags with steels. That shit is. I don't know the dude's name, but if you're out there, your car is fucking fire.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep it simple. And the problem is when you own a wheel company. This is the problem when you own a wheel company, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at cars and you're like, oh yeah, love that. Wouldn't change anything, except I have to, right?
Yeah, you have no choice.
Well, of course. Or like, let's say I'm like, oh, I'm building my 3.8, RSR tribute car. Can't be on BBS.
Nope.
So, and I love BBS. There's so many awesome motorsport companies that are out there, but I'm forced into situations where it's like, well, let me reinterpret something. Let me figure out how do I see this, right? Which becomes a challenge.
I see opportunity.
It is. No, it totally
I see
is.
opportunity. I think you need to develop a Safari 911 wheel and give it to me.
I'll show it to you actually in a few minutes.
Do you have one?
We haven't shown anyone yet, but it's actually a 15-inch gravel wheel.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
For G-bodies?
Yes.
Daddy right.
Yeah, so it's 5130, super lightweight. It's actually built for the Rally America series as well as what's going on here. So as we're getting more and more into motorsport, we're trying to focus on those things. Exactly. Yeah. And that's our main thing. There's some really fun stuff that's coming up soon with 1552. It's all fun until it actually, it's always fun coming up with ideas and stuff until it comes to fruition as something slightly different. But this year is going to be a good year for us. And I think that for us, it really is focusing more on the motorsport side, more on the driving aspect of what's there. I mean, we've always done these timeless classic designs and everything, but it's which is great for endurance and things like that. But we really want to focus on just kind of getting deeper into the motorsport stuff. As weird as it sounds, there's the whole stance scene, and I've been a part of that, and there's parts of that I enjoy. Certain cars look just unbelievable just sitting there doing that. But if you want to drive them, you can't do. We take me and all my buddies. We take a bunch of cars up, old 911s and Mercedes Alphas, everything up to Monterey and back for a three-day trip, a rally trip, right? And you can't do that on a car. And
you want to build a car that picture's great. You want to build cars and wheels for the thing that you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
Sure.
So it's
I get it.
So it's fun. It's fun doing that. So yes, it's weird, but also it's good. So on my Mercedes, I probably plan to do like a 17-inch version of the exact same stock Steely.
Oh, that's cool.
So then it's just a plus. Yeah. It's basically a retro modern. You're not staring at it, you don't know, but then all of a sudden it's something special.
I like what you did on that Lotus Esprit right there.
That was a fun one.
That's a cool one. Lotus Esprit is such an interesting car.
It is.
Are those like, what are those, Turbo Max? Is that what those are called?
Those are Tarmacs.
Tarmacs.
Yeah, Tarmacs. So
that look with the Lotus Esprit looks really, really good.
It's very period correct, and I think that's why we try and keep the wheels as simple as possible, almost boring to a certain degree, but not in a negative way. They're proportionally correct. From an artistic standpoint, they're done right, but they work on everything, right? You have a brand new 997, you have a Lotus Esprit, you've got a Ford Fiesta. It's something that just kind of transcends all different automobiles out there. I think that's fun. I think there's like something fun about that becomes
Well, if you've got a design that is a design that works on an old car as well as it works on a new car, I mean, that's a successful design, isn't it? Because you've opened up your market so nicely.
It does.
To everybody.
And it's fun.
What is the what is the product cycle like? I mean, are you physically doing wheel designs?
I mean, I do wheel design. We all kind of
do them on computer?
Have our hand in it. Yeah, for sure. And then we have our own engineer, Jason, who's also a designer engineer. So Jason basically, will keep things cohesive. We'll run through the whole SolidWorks program, do everything there, renderings, and kind of we'll just be playing back and forth and changing things, working on things together. I can mess around with Illustrator and Photoshop. Like, I'm not your CAD guy. I'm not getting in there crazy and designing in that sense, but I am designing, curating, I guess you could say, as to what is going to be there. And we all do that. If none of us had the chance to do that, we wouldn't even be doing what we're doing. I mean, we're a very passion-driven, family-type company. It's just, if it's not fun, we won't be here.
Right, but so you spend a certain amount of time designing the stuff, but sooner or later, it's like, all right, what are we going to sell?
Right.
Because you can't sell infinite styles, right?
Of course.
So at what point is it just like communal voting, or just all sort
of
a little more democratic, or is it more?
Yeah, sort of. It's kind of just communal voting. We all talk about it and we do things. I mean, if someone wants it like bad enough, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll go through, but there's definitely more of a push there. And we just kind of see things go through, and as it gets closer to we got to get wheels done or they're not going to be here in time, which we've had. We try and release wheels and they're 6 months late. It's just production stuff, especially being a small company. I mean, I think people think we're a lot bigger than we are. They're like, oh my gosh, we're going to go to 1552. This is going to be a huge building, and it's just this tiny little spot with 4 guys in it. I mean, that's the whole company, but that's what we do.
Brands.
Exactly. And it's fun. And I think once we finally get to the level where it's designed, we're good. Then it's okay. Then you move forward. You get the drawings done. They do all the FEA testing. They do everything there in the computer. Then of course they send you the sample. You like the sample, everything's good. Of course, then you start production, and then the wheels arrive, and you just hope that you sell a lot of wheels. Wheels are not like watches where they can sit in a box this big. It's like you have to have 4 of them for each car, and they're going to stack up as high as the ceiling is and weigh a ton because it's hard. Wheels are definitely more of a difficult thing because all the PCDs, everything else that's out there, offsets, all these different things, and then
they're not made to order. Yeah, they're stocked.
For the cast wheels, it's kind of a half, right? So like we do stock all of our wheels, and then like let's say if you call me and you have like a Fiat X19 and you want like some, and I'm like,
is that a call you've gotten recently?
No.
Is there someone on Fiat X19 somewhere?
We get some crazy stuff like Alpha GTV 6, like just like really cool, interesting cars that really want to run our wheels that just kind of are out there that nobody caters to, that we can say, hey, we've got a 16x8, 16x9, we can change the offset to this as long as it clears the brakes and kind of do some stuff. But cast wheels. So you're looking at like a $200-something wheel, fully custom, built for your car, and it looks great. And we're stoked because as automotive enthusiasts, this is the fun stuff. This is the stuff when the customers send you the pictures that you're like, oh, awesome. Our wheels are on this like, super crazy, weird, Studebaker. What the hell ever happened?
But did those wheels have to take up, 12 square feet of storage room space for 6 months?
Maybe. But that's the business side. It's hard, right? You're kind of like battling yourself. And it kind of comes back to what I was saying is if we can't enjoy what we're doing and kind of bend the rules a little bit, like I don't even want to be here. I can go sell, refrigerators and make a bunch more money. I mean, but realistically, it does take time. But then, of course, the forged wheels are that way and different things like that. But it's tough. If you bring in wheels, hey, I got black and silver. They're like, oh, I wanted gunmetal, You never have what they want.
You need to have 74 shades of gray like BMW.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Who has the most gray? I think either Mercedes or
BMW?
No, I think Audi may have more grays than
Audi
BMW.
does have a lot of grays.
Audi's got a lot of fucking gray. I think Porsche's got a lot of gray as well at the moment.
Yeah, well, no, especially I can't even. We got a fashion gray car, and then
gray.
My buddy Josh. I don't know if you're Josh from Speed District. He just got a chalk.
Did he get the chalk?
He got the chalk.
I like the chalk. I drove the Panamera Turbo in chalk on the launch. It was dope.
It's gray.
Yeah. Yeah, it's chalk is it's Battleship Light. Right?
Battleship on a diet.
I think Lamborghini really brought back the gray with the Aventador, the Battleshipy gray.
Yeah, sort of Ferrari, right, with the Nardo gray. I feel like everybody named their car Nardo.
I had an Audi RS press car, RS7 and RS5 in Nardo gray.
That's pretty.
Yeah, that's chalk that Timmy brought up there, but that is I will go and say that is a misleading picture, and that in person chalk is half a shade lighter than that.
It always looks like that, you know. It's like you look at a maritime blue car. Half the time it's purple, half the time it's
that picture. That's a more accurate chalk. The chalk is halfway between white and gray.
It's cool. It reminds me of like the Aviator gray that was on the Audi TT back in the day, Mark 1 TT. I mean, that's one of my favorite.
Oh, you know what I miss about that car? Baseball stitching. The baseball stitching was dope.
Come on, man. I mean, like you've got like I think it was Peter Schreier, J Mays. I think there was Audi, the designers, but these cars
peak retro future.
So Bauhaus, so cool, so just this car still to this day. Like, oh, you want to use a stereo? Just lift up that lever. How do you put the windows down? It's behind the door handle. You know, like so constant. Can I get some more air, please? Twist the knob, right? Like you don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
And you'll only know that if you know the car. And
I worked at an Audi dealership when those came out,
cool.
and I remember them being like, fuck me, this was really cool. The shifter lever, the shifter had this rubber, the accordion boot, which was really neat. There was a lot, and the baseball stitching really stood out to me. Like
somehow somebody's like, do you like that car? Yeah, we should build the concept, you know? And all of a sudden the green light got, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, you guys made it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. You know, like.
The Lexus LC500, same thing.
Yeah,
doesn't have such a crazy interior.
But that thing does look insane. I mean, it looks like a boot. I mean, the front of it's like wider than the rear, you know?
It looks like a Star Wars battle cruiser.
It does.
And have you driven one?
I haven't. That's what I was going to ask.
Drives real good.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, they have out Aston.
But how do you feel about their front end? Is it too organic for you? For me, I feel like it's just a little too organic.
The mouth, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's cool. Will it be dated in 3 years?
I think it'll on the LC. It works. So I think on the mouth and the LC, that's a very good picture. Whoever shot that, it works there. If you look at it on like the trucks, like the the LX, it's really fucking tragic looking, and it will not age. We're gonna be able to buy like 2-year-old and 3-year-old LXs on the cheap because nobody's gonna want them.
That's true. I'm just like waiting. Like after a really hard drive in this car, I just expect the bumper to be like, you know, like really wanting some air. You know, just kind of like, oh, come on, man. I'm just out of breath.
But I drove one. I did an 8-hour road trip in one to Yosemite, and then I romped on one.
8 hour. Hold on, you did an 8-hour road trip. You didn't just go straight to Yosemite because that's not selling me on the car. Because it doesn't take 8 hours.
No,
to get to Yosemite.
I went the long way.
Okay,
that body kit needs to go though.
Of course.
Let's ditch that. It's lovely.
Where did you go? What's the long way? Around the top?
To via Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the long way.
It
takes 8 hours to go that way.
I love Yosemite.
Oh, it's the best. But you got to go at the right time of year so the road is empty so you can mob.
I guess I've never done that.
Have you only gone when it's busy?
I've only gone with my dad.
Oh, no.
I have gone with my friends, but not on that side.
Yosemite has sick roads, and if you go at the right time of year, they are quite empty. And you can have especially, what is it, the less busy side, I want to say, is the south side, but I can't recall. But the side... You know that the big tunnel, like the part where
it just opens up and it's just game over. Yeah, that's just
the other side of that.
Okay, so north side.
That's the north side. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The other side
where you came in.
Yeah, that side is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been up that way.
You should. It's very nice.
I will take it.
It is very nice. Our friend Thaddeus. Do you know Thaddeus Brown? Have you met Thaddeus before?
Gosh.
He's our cameraman and our very good friend. He was here the last couple of weeks, but he lives in Dubai now, and it's very sad.
Yes, yeah, of course.
And so he left this. We were going to eat it on the show while he was here, and he's not here anymore, but we were going to eat this. This is, I wanted to try some. I haven't tried it yet. This is milk chocolate.
Okay.
Made of camel milk.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going there.
This is good.
Apparently it's delicious.
Okay.
But I want to make sure that Thaddeus knows that we have the camel milk chocolate, and we are actually eating on the show. It's not gonna go to waste.
All right.
Matt Crook, do you want to have a whack at the camel milk chocolate?
Some camel chocolate.
Timmy, what do you say?
Lagunitas?
You want to have a whack and a Lagunitas? What the fuck is camel milk about, huh? I'll give him points. It's good. Tastes like regular milk chocolate. Even maybe a little lighter than regular milk chocolate.
Yeah. It's got like a...
I don't know what I'm supposed to taste regarding camel, but it tastes pretty good to me.
Never milked a camel before.
No.
I haven't either, but whoever milked this camel did a good job.
It's got an interesting... It does have an interesting flavor to
There's
it.
something... Does it? To me, it tastes like regular milk.
No, there's something...
There's dates in here, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what's chewy.
You're tasting
Yeah?
date, maybe. Thanks, Dad. Camel milk.
Yes. This is fantastic.
Random eating camel milk segment on the show. I figured it was important.
No, I
For
enjoy it.
science, right?
I like science.
Wait, so legit, how do you run a wheel company with 4 people? I'm serious.
It's tough, man.
Because I've been to another wheel company who is down in Southern California.
Right?
They got a big fucking factory, a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
So, how do you run one with 4 people?
Well, I guess being, we're kind of in a different spot than a lot of the other companies. Being younger, I mean, we've been around since '96, but we've only been doing wheels since 2008. Right?
What were you doing from 96 to 2008?
A lot of like Volkswagen Audi tuning. So when we were first, when 1552 first started, actually, Brad, who you know, it was actually his company with his partner. And it was formed with Joe Hoppen. And Joe Hoppen was Audi Sport. Joe Hoppen was head of Porsche Motorsport. Those different things. Responsible for bringing Porsche to Can-Am. Doing all those things.
Really?
So, 1552 started as VW Sport. We were licensed by Volkswagen, actually, to be a Volkswagen tuner. And we're in conjunction with Joe Hoppen Motorsport, which was Audi Sport at the time. So, we were doing everything back then, at which point then Joe decided to retire. And Volkswagen said, "Oh, you still want to keep that name?
Oh.
It's this much." So we said, "Cool, let's change the name." I wasn't there at the time. I knew Brad. At the time, I was working in another company, probably Jamba Juice. But he was doing his thing, and the name is now 1552. I mean, everybody asks us what that means. I don't know if I want to say it right now and just keep the mystery alive. I don't know.
I say, you know what? Even though it's probably my job to ask,
Right.
fuck them.
Yeah,
Let them guess.
They can keep guessing. They'll ask us eventually. Everybody
Write it down and then turn it over and
tell
slide
you-
it across the table.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Really tease them.
But it's, and then it became this thing where I was working for a wheel company. He wanted to make wheels. We created the first wheel for 1552 called, the Snowflake, which is basically a Volkswagen Mark I GTI wheel, 14x6, turned into a 15x8, which is basically a +1 kind of, factory wheel for the Volkswagen Mark I. That's how we started making wheels. From there, of course, I got involved.
Tim, I want to see what that looks like.
We kept talking.
1552 Snowflake?
Yeah, 1552 Snowflake. So it looks like a factory VW Mark I Snowflake wheel, but with a little lip on it, And it's
Of course, from California and you snowflakes.
Yeah, we're just.
that design. I know that design. Cool.
Of the sun.
Yes. Well, it's like double forks. How many? There's 7 double forks.
Mm-hmm. So you remember that wheel on the factory Mark I GTI?
Yeah.
So we recreated that. It could actually accept the factory, center cap and all that kind of stuff. It was fun. It was cool.
Cool.
But our reach wanted to be expanded. We were doing different things. We said, hey, let's do some stuff that we're inspired by, like 90s BTCC, 80s DTM, Group B, all this kind of stuff that we were super pumped on, the things that inspired us, and we just kind of went for it. Like, especially the tarmac. I mean, it's a 2-dimensional wheel, as flat as you possibly can get.
Yeah.
While concave and big lip was in. Of course, we said, let's build a flat wheel. That'd be cool, right? I mean, definitely at the time, the antithesis of what was trendy. And at first, it's funny when you get a wheel like this.
Looker. That's interesting. Here's a picture on a GT3 997. Interesting look on that car. I don't know if that one works for me.
I love it.
You like that?
Oh, I just love it. There's a guy named Chris Kane actually on Chris Kane on Instagram, and actually what you saw there is a rendering. Okay?
On what, the GT3?
Right.
Yeah.
And this guy, I guess he loved the rendering so much he actually built the car.
What,
with
like
the tarmac.
after really? Oh.
But it made me happy because it was like so
The
cool, and it
rendering
just
sells the
looked
cars.
fantastic. I mean, it was just so neat. I guess it's just so different, right?
It's cool look. It's not like ugly. It's just
No.
not my taste.
Of course.
But I do on this particular little TI here.
Yeah.
With the shaved door handles and the fucking what are those like? What is it, like M5 brakes in that? Like Cayenne turbo brakes in this car? What is
front
this
and
thing?
rear. So okay, so
Do you know this car? Is
no,
your car?
this is not even real.
Oh,
so this right here. So okay, so when we
not real.
first started to launch our wheel, we did a Photoshop contest, right? Because then you get to see them on every single car that's out there. You do all that kind of fun stuff. This was when Facebook was like jamming. So we held an Instagram or a Facebook contest for Photoshop, and it just kind of all came together, you know. So
Has someone
it's
since
been
built
fun.
the TI?
Yeah, actually,
Really?
yeah, it's actually a gray on orange wheels.
Actually, a friend, there's a YouTuber who I know, who I love, named Tommy F. Yeah. He's in Connecticut. Tommy
Okay.
Farrell. He lives by Lime Rock and he does builds.
Oh, all right.
Good dude. And he just bought like some old lady's fucking mint TI.
I
and
love
he's like, I don't know
TIs.
what to do with this thing. Like, it's kind of a shit box. And I'm like, but it's mint. And I was like, S54 swap.
Oh, for
Six-
sure.
S54 6-speed swap, and that's the game.
Of course.
That's like you
I'm
have
all
like a
about
little
it.
mini Shelby Cobra there. It's like a scary
It
looking
is
car.
exactly. You're exactly right. I think
That
those are
works.
just the coolest thing. And
What is that, a Metro? Is that a Metro?
Peugeot 206.
Fuck, that looks cool. That looks like, you know what? I think your wheels are like the official wheels of Gatabil.
Yeah.
In Sweden. Have you
But
been
that's
over
our-
there for that?
I haven't. I want to go. You've
Can
been?
we go? You want to get an Airbnb or
let's-
something?
Yeah, we'll get an Airbnb.
Dude,
Do they have them there? We get an igloo? I don't even
gotta
know.
go.
I mean, no, that's it's fantastic. But it really is. We live and breathe what we do in regards to, you know, what our wheels are inspired by and what's there. And we're not like, of course, it's obvious what we're inspired by to a certain degree. And we even say that. Snowflake, it's called a snowflake. You know, it's like the tarmac.
real on the nose,
Tarmac
yeah.
rally wheel. I mean, the Turbo Mac is something that's basically a 5-spoke tarmac in the middle of a turbo wheel. So it's a Turbo Mac, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but we have a lot of fun with this stuff just because this is the stuff that we were inspired by. And I think that, you know, we don't necessarily bend. We don't play into the whole concave, modern, crazy wheel thing. And, you know, in certain ways, there's probably more money there. But in the same time, I think for longevity and what we're trying to do, you know, we're telling a story and we want to continue to tell that story and like push back with what we think, you know, should be happening right now in the automotive community. So,
Well, but just to follow up, like if you're you know, your company's like 4 people, basically, you know, you have a manufacturing facility that's
course.
not your 4 people, right?
Of course,
obviously,
of course.
right? So
I guess getting back to that, yeah.
yeah. So so you guys are focused on design and sales, right?
Theoretically,
Design,
sure,
marketing, and
sure.
sales.
Let's say like, yeah, design, marketing, sales. I mean, realistically, distribution, all that kind of stuff is still us.
Right,
So-
I'm just like,
but-
for someone out there that's like,
well, yeah,
I know CAD. Maybe I'll start like that.
Right.
It is possible to do it without.
it is possible, but that's more of a forged thing. I mean, cast wheels are incredibly expensive. I mean, really expensive, right? I mean, you're talking like, you know, for your first order for one single wheel and one single size for minimum order with the mold fee, you're looking at like probably $65,000 just for one specific wheel. Then you say, okay, well, that's only 100. That's only let's say 100 sets of wheels, and you're going to divide that between how many cars, and
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
they sell. I mean, and then you do that against like, oh, we have 5 different sizes in this style and 3 different styles, so all of a sudden now you have 15 times 65,000.
Yeah.
And
So
that's-
you're really like rolling the dice of like,
Yeah.
we're gonna buy all this shit, and like
let's
we're
just-
gonna find out who really wants it for what cars and in what sizes, and then the rest of it we're gonna get stuck with once.
Yeah, pretty much,
Right?
pretty much. And that's what makes it hard. But I think for us, we really are. I think because we're so passionate, we work so hard. But we really are a marketing kind of, you know, branding type powerhouse in terms of what we do. We do sales. We do our own distribution. We do our own, marketing. Run all of our own social media. Do all of those things. But
What's the Ken Block effect like?
it's awesome.
Is that like the Dominic Toretto effect? When Ken drives, he's golden. These kids come in, they pay cash.
He lives his life a quarter mile at a time. You know,
Yeah.
But Ken's
But I
awesome.
mean, you know, he
is.
puts your wheels on his shit.
Oh yeah.
Does that translate to kids coming in and buying wheels, going, I want my
course.
car to look like Ken's car?
Of course. No, it totally does. And I think even more so, like, I think because Ken is so excited about our product and we've done so many cool things with Ken, it's helped us on other levels as well. I mean, just because, Ken is Ken, I mean, he has fun. He's just who he is. He's
Helps
having
to
fun.
write your own ticket, bro.
Yeah.
Shit is gangster as hell, right?
It is. I mean, and it's a lot of fun just seeing him dream and just do crazy stuff,
Yeah.
And I think I think it's really cool. And I think now he just did this RS200, and we did wheels on that.
That car is so dope.
I know.
Did you ever go in
so
that?
Cool. No. Fuck. Not yet.
That car is so sick. But he's just like, I mean, I know I can totally relate to the cars he's buying, the Sierra or the Escort Cosworth and the.
I love it.
And I get it. That makes sense.
I mean, you bought an RS, right?
I do have a Focus RS. I mean, I understand if I had to live with one genre, if I had that hypothetical, one car for everything, well, it would have to be a rally car, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? A rally car satisfies all needs, and that's where I'm going with my Safari car. My Safari car is the goal of that car is not even to sail it through the woods. The goal of that car is a daily driver in LA.
You can throw that thing around, but you need a Safari in LA.
What I'm saying.
Let's just get real here, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. And also, we have all this desert. God, that fucking RS200 is so dope.
I know. I know.
So sick. What are the wheels on that? I mean, they're yours, obviously.
Yeah,
but
those are our 3-piece Evos. So it's an Evo SC. So it's kind of like a turbofan inspired wheel. So the face actually sits off of the lip.
We can find that picture is blurry as fake. We find a better picture, homie.
I guess. I mean, it's.
There's better pictures around, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's all the pictures are action shots or the aggressive 3/4 angle.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a Group B looking kind of wheel.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see where it's inspired by. Brian's Porsche right there is on our wheels as well. One of the,
I like Brian's car. I'm not
I
a
do
big
too.
RWB fan, but at least Brian's has got a fucking motor in it, and Batim did his chassis setup, so I know it's going to drive pretty good.
No, I mean, it's hard. It's especially me. I have to play the whole. There's a lot of games in regards to what we do. And
oh yeah, you can't shit on people with RWB cars because they might want to buy your wheels.
Well, I love RWB. Like what Nakai did and what they have in Japan in terms of racing. I mean, these dudes are going down track on fire.
Yeah,
like they're literally on fire. Fenders being ripped off the car. 12-hour, endurance races.
The only
That's
problem
so
I have.
badass.
The only problem I have with Nakai is that, as an artist, he should probably know when to say no. And on the other hand, like, I understand the hustle. Like, that dude will smoke a finite amount of cigarettes and then he will fall over and die, and so why shouldn't he fly all over the world and collect, 30 G's at a time?
But he doesn't even care. It's like, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure he cares about the money at some point. But the guy just... every day is in a different country building a car, like
it's
cutting
crazy.
fenders off, which
it's
blows
so
my mind.
And I've seen, I haven't met him, but I've seen videos of him hand, eyeball cutting and sawzalling fucking fenders off, which is nuts.
It is.
But I feel like at a certain point you should know when to say no or go, listen, I'm not going to put my giant windshield banner on this car, knowing full well it will fly off that cliff if you try and take this corner.
Yeah. Well, depending.
Not when you build race cars, also, because you know better.
Of course. Well, that's the difference, right? Is he does. So
I recently got a tuner car to test from a well-known company that's in a field you're familiar with.
Okay.
It was extraordinarily fast in a straight line.
Okay.
And the car was an extremely competent handling vehicle out of the box.
Right.
It doesn't need anything.
Right.
Even with a fuckload of extra horsepower, it's still a very confident handling vehicle.
Right.
All this company did, even though this company goes racing, successfully goes racing, took a stock suspension and put lowering springs on it, and the car rubbed everywhere. And it was like, you fucking idiots know better. Like, you know better. Like, what?
Of course.
And they were passing this car around to journalists. Like,
That's
like,
scary.
Homie, like, you could have just left it alone.
Yeah.
You've left it stock.
No,
Anyway.
it's true. I'm with you. I think
You know go pull up that picture right there. My favorite thing about this
300C?
picture is no, it's a 300M.
Oh, M. It is a 300M, right? Yeah,
it looks like Ken's about to get smoked by this 300M.
It does actually look like that. Yeah, it's funny. There's a rolling shot with a 300. That's very interesting.
Well, I think the headline on that photograph was "Watch Ken daily drive his RS200." So I think he's emphasizing that he's on the road with other random shit boxes, but still that picture makes
Was the 300M a shitbox? Yes.
No, not when it was
but
new.
But it
No,
wasn't.
no,
You
it
get what I
wasn't.
mean? The 300M with the gauges.
I know.
Come on, and everything.
Indiglo, bro. It had
I know
Indiglo.
it had Indiglo, man. And it looked like watch. It had the watch in the center. It looked like all this stuff. I mean, it was.
Wasn't it also a 4-cam engine? And
Oh, yeah.
My friend's dad had one, and I remember when he came, like, we were in high school, and he came over, like, my dad got this 300. I remember, like, this thing is awesome.
Dude, you know what one of my
Yeah.
dream cars was? And still is. Dodge
Get closer.
Stratus.
I'm sorry, what? Which Dodge? The coupe?
The super touring car. Come on, cab forward design. I mean, as a super touring car with the STW front spoiler and
Wait,
wing.
super
Have you
touring
seen
car?
the PPG one? I mean, Randy. I think Randy Pope's.
Wait,
it's
Dodge
just-
Stratus race car?
Have you not seen the STW cars?
No!
All right, get ready to have your mind blown.
What?
Because you're going to be honest with me. That's the thing. We're going to
Every
see
once
here.
in a while, I
You're gonna
find
love
out
it.
that I missed entire genres of car.
Super touring Dodge Stratus. It's not going to show you STW because that's a German thing. Super touring.
Oh no,
No. Don't
Timmy,
even, just wait for it. I know Will Ferrell put
We
this
need to
thing in
teach-
there. We all had to hit.
Look
Look
at-
at this PPG car. Hold
is
on.
that top left there? Is that
Dude,
that?
Come on.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, pull it up. Timmy.
All of these.
Wow.
Unbelievable with the cab forward design,
Kind
the trunk.
of good looking.
It's amazing, right?
You know, if you change the grill, like it could almost be a Volvo S60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when.
But they were so ahead of their time with the cab forward design. I'm talking design.
What
here.
powertrain does that have? Is that David Donahue's name on the side of that car? It is, right?
Come on, of course. But that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, like, this is when the Accord was racing. Everybody was out there and
How
super
did
touring.
they pull up that picture?
Look at the
Tim.
PPG.
Wow.
The next
Oh,
one.
That's,
No,
that's a
not it.
Mondeo. That's a Mondeo.
That's come on.
Wow. Look at. Is that what you would do? A tribute livery?
That's for sale for 20. That's for sale for 25 grand on Race Car Direct. I was thinking about buying this.
Wait. So
selling
what,
some cars.
What powertrain is in that? Is it the 6 V6?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because they had to have like specific.
Do they have a manual gearbox? Though?
Maybe a 300M engine. Who knows?
You could do a swap.
Indiglo gauges
You could do
too.
a swap with
Right.
Indiglo gauges. I bet if you could cop one of those on like
Look at that blue and white.
racingjunk.com or
Look at the red,
something.
white, and blue one. Come on, America.
Dude, these are. That's
on.
the one.
Come on, bro. Like,
That's the one. Pull that up. That is.
isn't
Like,
that awesome?
yeah, you know what's so funny? The elements now, if you look at it, especially white with the black windows, it looks like it has Mark IV Jetta side windows.
It does.
And it's also, I mean, and also look at the wood floor this guy has parked this thing on. This guy has a sweet garage.
That's what
floor.
I'm talking about, man. See,
That's
now you're
good.
with me. See, some guys know. Okay, Matt?
Honestly, I'm with you. I am with you.
I love it, man.
All right.
No, see, that's different, Tim. You
That's
can't.
fun. It's
No,
gangster,
'cause see,
though.
this is where
Look at the
you
way
guys
it-
totally could have went a different
at the way it
direction on me
loads
here.
up in
You
the
get that,
corners.
right? You could have totally just threw me under the bus.
This is, he just pulled up one of the most pathetic looking handling.
Plymouth Breeze,
The
Dodge
only-
Stratus.
The only thing that exceeds the body roll is the tire rollover on the sidewall.
that could be David Donahue, in there,
Dude,
you know?
that's also David's.
I mean, come on.
That's so funny.
I mean, look at
And then
okay,
look,
actually,
there's
look
the
at
Dodge Stratus funny car.
Yep.
The drag car.
No, not that one, Tim.
That
there we
one.
go. There we go. There we go. That's second gen. That's terrible.
That's
all right.
Dude, the first to second gen Stratus was really a step backwards.
It was.
Do you want another refill?
Yes, please. That would be awesome. But check if you go back, look at this right here. So the RC car to the right, that was actually HPI's best-selling body ever, and it was the fastest because it was aerodynamic. Dodge Stratus. All right.
Wait, are you involved with this?
No.
Oh,
This was
okay.
like when I was a kid, right? But like when you were doing it, this was the body to get.
Yeah, I was big into slot cars. I never did the RC
too.
cars. Did you like slot
Man,
cars?
I had slot cars like nobody's business.
Did you have
man.
like the Group 27s and Group 7s,
Oh.
like the crazy fast ones?
Oh, I would go to they'd have like those spots where you could go and race them and they'd go around
Yeah.
like, hey, here's our Nürburgring. And it's like, what the heck?
Wait, do they still have any of those in California?
If they do, we should go.
I'm so down.
But like kind of pregame it.
Yeah, drunk.
Right.
They do the steering for you. That's a good one.
Damn.
Those are like the tracks I used to race on back in the day, and you'd go around the track and you'd apply your little
Yeah,
your glue.
Yes.
You know, right before the corner,
because if you actually, it was actually like a contest in glue application, because if you applied your glue right, you could basically hold it
speed.
flat.
Right,
the
yeah,
whole
exactly.
course.
Right. How the hell is he doing that? Yeah, there goes.
So there's like different cars. So that some of them, looked like vintage race cars and the NASCARs.
Yeah, the guys with the NASCARs. We didn't even.
Yeah. Well, I had the ones with the plastic fins on the side.
Is that a Capri up there? The red and white one?
That's a Mosler. That's a Mosler he just pulled out.
That is a Capri. See, I spotted that thing from like, come on, man.
That's a great looking Capri.
Oh, Zach's.
And it's the gold leaf tobacco.
Oh.
Interesting. Gold leaf tobacco is how the car Jim Clark died in was liveried. But they have, Tim, pull up a picture of the Group 7 slot car. Because the really
it's
fast
just be
ones.
A picture of Matt with a car at whatever.
The really fast ones have these wings, these aerodynamic bodies in the wings. What the fuck? There, top row, second from the left. That believe it or not, that is a car. So pull that up.
Here
so
we go.
this is a Group 7 slot. So the engines the motors were so small, and they revved to like 25,000 RPM.
Yeah, the little electric.
That car did 125 miles an hour, real miles an hour, not scale, real. So
it's doing like 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah,
right?
and dude, if you didn't glue the fucking track right, that thing would sail off the track like 100 feet.
Decapitate someone.
It was so far.
That's when slot racing became dangerous.
Because what happens was, go back to that picture, Tim.
RS200.
That's gangster.
See, that's so cool. Let's get into slot
You'd
cars.
be on like heavy downforce, right? Because those fins. But go back to that other picture of that downforce car, Tim, that I showed you, the Group 7 car. So look at you've got the plastic fins on the side, and then the fin in the back.
Insane.
If someone was reaching over to place their car back onto the track, and you went by with those, you would gash someone's hand open.
Great.
That was always fun.
You would wait too. You'd slow down, just waiting for Tommy to come over to put his car back on.
Yeah.
You'd get him.
Yeah.
I worked at a slot car track like this in high school in Ocean City, Maryland, and I made no money. I spent all the money on cars and track.
You just traded your time for
exactly.
slot cars?
Yeah, I was like 12 when I was doing this shit, and I remember that Group 7 car was like $400 in '93. I spent all my money on it.
But I've always been the guy, like, I'd rather like have a legit looking real car and go 3/4 the speed because it just looks so bad.
Oh, I was in leagues, bro.
Yeah,
I wanted to win. It was like me and then a bunch of guys who looked like that guy in that picture. It's like
so just like
me
Tiva's
and
cargo shorts and Matt.
me, a couple other nerds, and then a bunch of like fat, 50-year-old white guys that didn't get to fuck their wives ever.
Right. That's just
and inexplicably had interest in slot car racing and not real cars or real tracks. I never once remember seeing a cool car in the parking lot.
Well, it's a good thing you got out of that, man. You were on a
I
bad
know.
track. You know what I mean? Like, you were on a really bad track. I mean,
I learned how to talk to girls, and the slot cars never fucking came out again.
Have you ever seen a Group 7 race car? What?
That is so funny and true. I really do now, as someone who's locked up in with one girl anyway, like, I'm like, where's the slot car tracks at, bro?
Well, now you can do that, though. Now you can go backwards. What the hell are you doing? Don't worry about it. Okay?
Ooh, Porsche 959 slot car.
This is my time.
I had the Tamiya version of this thing when I was a kid.
Ugh.
You know what would have been gangster? Like, so you know how if you had a slot car where the slot little mechanism thing was like out in front of the car, like almost like a fork on a trailer. That way, like, you could do big drifts with the car and still have the slot thing be in the slot.
Do you remember? I want to say it was Mattel. I don't know. They launched one where the whole track was electric.
Yes,
and it didn't have a slot on it.
It was like fully conductive. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't afford it, but man, it's
like fully conductive track.
I asked it for Christmas for like 3 years. Didn't get anything. You know what I mean? It's like,
I wish I had the hookup until yesterday. Hannah quit Mattel, so I had the hookup.
Jeez, man.
No longer. God, I want to go slot car racing again, man. That shit was fun.
Let's look it up. I'm serious.
If we find a place, we will. We'll make a note to look up slot cars. If you're in LA,
look at
people. If there's people out there in LA that know about good slot car racing in Los Angeles, we'll fucking find it. I'm sure there's a place to do it.
Tell me about your Fox Buddy. What's going on right now with your Fox Buddy?
It works properly, so that's a thing.
Okay.
I mean, nothing really. I'm just driving it. Honestly, it was in and out of being wrenched on for 3 years, but it's good. I had it at the track, and it put down really solid lap times. It's not crazy fast, for a track car, but as a street car, it feels quick enough.
But it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, and it's much more important that it sounds like a Fox body is supposed to sound, than that it goes faster.
I'm 100%.
Although, the next round of the rep, right now, the Safari build is focusing the energy and the cash. Once that's done, people are starting to crash GT350s. And engines and gearboxes are starting to pop up at the salvagers. And I feel like, because you've been around.
Yeah.
The return on investment in building a 302 is pretty minimal.
Right.
I'd have to spend $2,500 to get 50 horsepower out of that motor. Because it's already most of the way there.
Of course.
It makes like just under 300 wheel right now, and so the most you're getting out of a 302 without supercharging it is
much
350 maybe.
But then it's unreliable.
And that's a race motor.
That's
a race motor.
So you're not.
So ultimately, to take it to the next level means changing the engine.
What's that thing weigh?
3110 wet. It's not bad.
No, so
it goes pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's got like about the same power to weight as like an E46 M3. So it's quick enough
and fun. And way more visceral.
Oh, yeah. And it rides beautifully. Everything's really nice. But
it's awesome.
Coyote or Vw motors, not Coyote motors, Vw motors, with gearbox, GT350 gearbox, is like 17 grand. That's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I know how much money that is. It's a lot. But we're talking about a stock motor making 526 horsepower at 8,200 RPM.
Would that be too much?
No. You can always use less throttle. That's the best part about NA motors. You know what I mean? I was driving that Gunther Works thing yesterday, which is like, holy shit, 430 horsepower and 2,600 pounds. Like, that must be scary. It's like, with an NA motor, everything is so progressive that you really can just use less. I mean, I've never been in an NA car, even if it made huge power.
But there's something like very satisfying about just full throttle, getting on there and just...
What?
Just going. I mean, through the corners. I mean, just really being able to do. Where like with a full. I mean, with the car with that kind of power, well, it'll bite you if you're.
No, yes, if you're really going for that last tenth, yeah. But it's also easy to not. You can be smooth on, smooth off, and you don't have to be.
But you don't even notice it climbing. You're like 6/10.
I know.
7/10.
I know.
All of a sudden you're at 9/10. And you're like,
so funny.
Same thing.
You're totally right. I did like 3 hours in that car yesterday. I got a lot of seat time. Peter was very nice about it, and he was like, "Listen, I know you don't spend a lot of time in the cars before doing videos, but I really want you to drive this car for an hour before you say anything." And I was like, "Okay, that's fair. This thing's dope enough, you know."
Yeah.
And so we went around and then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna stay here on the side of the road, and you go do your video." And I went, and as I was ending the video, I realized right as I was finishing that I had gotten very, very comfortable going really, really fast. And as long as I was focused, that was fine. But if I had music on and my mind wandered,
right, all of a sudden, like, woo, you're going to prison, cars impounded, great, awesome, cool. You know what I mean?
It could have been a bad day.
You wouldn't even notice the helicopters. You're just driving. You know what I mean?
I don't even know where they came from.
Come on, Van Halen's going, Matt's just out. You know, but it's true though. I don't know. That's like my SC. So
the new stuff, especially, you can really, really.
Oh, that's scary. I don't like, but that's why I don't even. I mean, I'd like to get a 987 Cayman right now, Cayman S actually, and that's like something I'd actually like to do and kind of build up and have some fun with. But there's not many new cars that really just.
I drive a lot of the new cars, and so there are a bunch that do it for me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I think part of that is because. I have a low threshold for headaches, and
that makes sense.
Even with my old cars, I have a pretty low threshold for headaches, and I have to sit in traffic a lot, and so I don't, but whatever. But like some of the shit that like new cars, some of them are like magic, and I realize that
they are.
it's slightly less visceral, but I mean, I drive like the new NSX or the 488 or some of the McLarens. I'm like, fucking hell, like they let people have this stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like, all it takes is money. I don't need to like go to a school for this. Like, you go how?
No, out on the street too.
Yeah.
Have you driven a 981 Spider?
A 918 Spider?
98 what? Like the new, or not 98.
The crazy $1 million hybrid one?
Yeah.
918, 918.
No. The actual Boxster Spider.
Oh!
Like the 3.8. 3.8 981 Spider. Like you have driven one
which
of those?
is the same, like
it's like a GT4 with
the
no
same,
top.
Yeah. I have, glorious, lovely.
Like just that one. I had one of those for a few months, and honestly,
they're the best.
It was probably one of my favorite cars I've ever driven.
Oh, they're incredible until you got to go put the roof on. Then it's a pain in the ass, right?
Well, no,
didn't have the tent. The Spider of the tent.
Yeah, well, you have to clip it in, and then it's like pops out, and you're like, oh, shit. I thought it was clipped in, it wasn't. But gosh, man, with the top down, listening to that pop, and like the downshift and everything. I mean, that's probably the first new car that
those cars sing. It makes a lot of sense.
It's just unbelievable.
So you don't like the turbo motors then in the new ones, huh?
I do, but not.
You drive one yet?
It's just different. I have, and it's cool.
They're fast.
They're really fast.
The new Cayman S is really fast.
It's fast.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like, I don't know.
It's so hard because there's you and a lot of people that think the way that have that view.
Oh, they think the way you do.
No.
I know. I'm just kidding.
And I think that I empathize a little more with the engineers who are constrained by fuel economy, but always need to improve their numbers.
Right.
And, at a certain point, like, and having been around plenty of guys who build Porsche race engines, I mean, there's really diminishing returns with naturally aspirated engines. Of
course.
And granted, okay, we can say 300 or 400 horsepower naturally aspirated is the limit, or 500 as it is now is the limit, and these are going to be expensive engines, and we'll focus on cutting weight or whatever.
You can throw a turbo on it and have a really
make
fun
your life
car
a lot easier.
No, of course. And I'm 100% with you. I mean,
and not have to engineer out 600 pounds somehow.
But I guess for me, for some reason, there's this romantic thing of like the cars that were, and so I think to myself, well, I want that. Like I have my 2.316 valve Cosworth that I'm building a full Evo 1 conversion into.
Really?
So I have full Evo 1 flares.
Cool. Does that work?
It's completely, it does. It does. But the problem is once you put Evo 1 flares on, you have to tub the whole thing and clear them because the inner arch radius is the same size as the flare. So you're driving like a 4x4 if it's not. And then it's like, for me, I'm like, I want a DTM car.
Yeah,
so
you need to actually cut it. Well, that's what I had to do with the Mustang, but that's how you end up.
You just go into it.
People are like, over fenders, and you're like, 20 grand in body work.
Yeah,
to make
exactly,
this work,
right? Like, you just bolt those flares on. Totally just bolted them on.
There's some guy that's like super hater on my Instagram, and anytime I post a picture of my Mustang, pictures of my Mustang are the most popular things I post on Instagram, bar none. People ask about the flares because they look riveted on. They're not. Right. They're not riveted on. They look it. They're not. And they go, where do I buy those flares? And someone's like, this super hater responds, oh, you just get them here. They're just bolted on. And then every time I had to respond, not because of the hater, but because I don't want this guy to get fucked.
Right.
To think. To start cutting up his car and go, oh, you just buy these and put them on. I'm like, no, it took
it's not that easy.
No, it took a bunch of smart guys 6 months to make these work.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
No, I know that one.
I worked really hard so I could write a check to someone else who works really hard at that thing.
Amen, right?
I support local business.
No, it is. It's incredibly difficult, and that's something like that car right there. I could easily turbo it and do all that. But I personally want to build it into a 2.5 16 valve throttle bodies DTM. I want to keep the dog leg box. Gert track.
I wonder if you could get like an AMG, like a C36 motor. You know what I mean?
We have a customer right now we're building wheels for who has a full C63 AMG. Cut the body off, put a 190 on it with Evo 2 flares.
Stop it.
Yeah, insane. So it looks like a 190
so the
Evo
full
2.
Chassis and stuff is a C63?
Correct.
What?
Insane. Yeah, I know.
Did he have to shorten the wheelbase, or is it close enough?
Flares, and then of course we have to build wheels that are like, can you make an 8 with a 71 offset, positive, and you're like, what are you building? It's like, and then you see it, you're like, oh yeah, it's the wrong body on the wrong car. We can make wheels for that. But I mean, I'm incredibly excited. I mean, this is one of the coolest projects, and this is like.
Did he build like a kind of like a tube frame cage and then put the body on that?
No, I mean it's all
just a whole-
suspension. It's insane. It's so cool.
crazy.
I mean, it's so cool. And this is the stuff where, of course, as an enthusiast, for me, as customers send you emails, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
hey, man, I'm looking for sponsorships. And most of the time it's like, eh. And every once in a while you're like, oh, gosh, this is amazing. Holy crap. I don't have any money, man, but I'll hook you up. We'll figure something out,
Yeah.
you know, because there's just such cool stuff happening.
Is that it? Or is that your car?
And no, that's not my car.
Oh,
but this
okay.
is actually.
Oh, that looks like it. Those are new wheels.
Yeah, no, this is it. Well, those are my wheels, but yeah.
No, but they're the wheels off of a new C63.
I think
Fuck
I
me,
think that might be the
that's
car. I'm pretty
dope.
sure, but it's phenomenal. I mean,
If I had to guess, I would say that's the car, or at least something like that, because that's gonna be cool as shit.
it is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But it's tough. I mean, like with stuff like this, it really is truly custom. I mean, we're talking like as far as brake measurements, everything else we have to do is just.
Yep, that's the
I
car.
know that is the car. It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
So
good for them.
But this is fun stuff, man. I love this. I mean, this is it's cool, and this is why I do what I do, because it's fun and you get to experience these things. But
It's cool to get to, like, when you meet super weird engineers like this who are building some crazy shit. It's kind of nice to get to be a part of that build too, right?
oh, yeah, because I could never do that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, but you're just as involved by handing them a set of wheels, aren't you?
to a certain degree, sure. And I'm just as in trouble too if they don't, fit.
Oh,
But
that's true.
there's a lot of stuff that goes into this. I mean, the wheels are so freaking expensive, and it comes down to these little details that make them fit or not. And it is tough. So I mean, it's just a matter of kind of running through different things and checks and balance, making sure everything's good, and then kind of going for it. But
Is that 190E any good out of the box? I've never driven one,
it
actually.
is. It's like an E30. You've driven an E30 M3.
Yeah.
So a Dodge Caravan could beat you off the start.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
fast.
No, but it's like it's all about the 40 to 80 mile an hour range,
Right.
kind of. Yeah.
Because back then, in the golden years of DTM, it was all momentum. You watch these guys like jumping, they just because as soon as they slowed down, they couldn't catch back up.
Yeah.
So it's just full on all the time.
So in like Angeles Crest open sweepers, it's probably very nice, and in the tight
Yes.
hairpins, it's got nothing.
It's unless you're just revving
yeah.
out. But yeah, it's
E30 M3s aren't fun in hairpins either.
No.
E30 M3s and open sweepers though are very nice.
fantastic,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
you're up there, so you're already up there.
Yeah.
You're just having fun kind of sliding the car
100%.
around. And that's kind of what it is. It's a little bit different because it's a sedan and it's like this Mercedes. It's just it's a little silly, but it's just so neat. And they only brought 1,200 of these cars over, the 2316 valve.
Oh, they're super cool looking.
And my favorite's the Evo 1. Luckily, it's the same bumpers and everything and skirts and cladding. So all I did was add the front spoiler, rear spoiler, flares, and cut like 3 inches out of the fender until I was like, oh, it doesn't look cool unless I tub it. So
Thaddeus, we were talking about. There was an E300CE 3.4 AMG. You ever heard of that? Bet you haven't.
no.
Thad found one in Dubai. They made 25 of them. It's the 2-door pillarless 300 CE coupe, which we
Okay.
got here as a 320 CE.
Right.
And it was in Europe, and then it was a stroked engine to 3.4. Timmy, that's 300 CE coupe 3.4 AMG. There it is. That's the one.
Oh, dude.
We were looking for this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
The whole zoom out. We were looking for this thing the whole last show. Because one is for sale in Dubai right now for like 60 G's.
Yeah, I want to see
got
my
low
buddy.
miles.
You know those wheels we did? I don't know if you know the Kubis wheel. It looks like it's like a split 5-spoke.
Oh, I haven't seen
We
that.
did with it's an Australian guy who races this like amazing. If you look up Kubis, you'll see his race car, and he builds it. What is it, 129, I think? But it's an older coupe with these crazy wide flares. It looks like an old Mampy race car.
Cool.
And we did a collaboration with him on one of our wheels, just because he's a small shop, really cool guy, and like us, it was just, oh, this is badass. This
Yeah.
guy's racing this old Mercedes. Let's make some wheels.
How do you spell that?
DKUBUS.
Oh, it's just like it sounds.
Check out this car though, Matt. Look at this car.
Wow, what is that? Oh, it's the fuck me.
Come on,
So this
man.
is an S what is it?
C107.
SLC.
Yeah.
A 450 SLC maybe.
Right.
I just drove the 380 SLC and it was slow as balls, but it looked hot. That, my friend, looks hot. Is that an actual track car?
This will be a track car. He actually does
does that
race.
look tough.
He actually has a full built race car. He does hill climb racing in Australia, and it's just.
So we're looking at a 450
Unbelievable.
SLC, which is the hard top SL from the 80s, widened over fenders, 1552 wheels, big stagger looks like.
Yeah, huge. He was like 13 inches
Did he
wide.
did he cut up underneath those fenders
yeah.
as well?
Cut,
So that
welded,
has some travel to it as well. That
insane amounts of travel. I mean,
That
you can
is-
see it's like, yeah, there's wheel gap, but it's
Yeah.
not wheel gap for like.
yeah,
you know,
I would have
it's a
given
race
that guy
car.
wheels. It's gangster.
Yeah.
The,
So I mean,
the one bad thing about those cars is the gearbox is.
yeah, he does. He changes a bunch of stuff out. Now in Australia, they got much cooler ones of these than we did.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they got the European engines.
Yes.
So they got the
And
better
trans.
engines.
So if you look at that's actually the other car you just saw was his car on the dyno.
That's his race car.
That's his race car right there.
Wow.
But
very
I mean,
cool.
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, dude, that looks like the Mercedes version of my Mustang.
yeah.
kind of.
It sort of does actually.
Yeah.
That quarter window and everything.
Oh wait,
kind
can
of a
you go
coupe.
to the left? What is that horsepower figure? We can't read it. Damn it!
It's big.
Is
See that blue line?
yeah,
That,
that,
means,
that line goes
big.
up. Yeah,
I like that. Mike took off the left side. That's awesome. Good job, Mike.
yeah. Someone photoshopped that badly. Good for him though. That I'd have given that guy wheels.
So
That's a winner.
we did a collaboration with him. So it was like so it's his own design that we worked with. So we launched it for him in a way, and kind of had a lot of fun doing it. So, but yeah, he actually has what I was getting at is he actually has one of those. I believe one of those cars that whatever it is.
The 300 CE, the 3.4s.
Yeah.
It was
the
only like
box flare kind of type
it's
thing.
awesome.
It's just insane.
So cool.
This is
Those-
white.
I wish I bought one of those when nobody wanted them at all. Just
But
like
that's the
everything
way it
else.
is. Exactly.
That's life.
I
When
know.
nobody wants them, nobody wants them.
I got lucky on a few things. you
Yeah.
know? So
I bought my my O2 SL for a good price, and they're on the way up. I think
all the 70s and 80s Mercedes are just starting to
mine's
skyrocket.
the very end of that. The last of the boxy.
Still.
Did I say O2? It's an 01. I don't know why I said O2. Lie about my own cars here. I have to turn my telephone back on now because I said on Facebook that you were going to be here. I got a bunch of questions from people.
Oh boy.
But I turned my phone off so as not to be rude.
I see.
Fuck that! I keep looking at that Mercedes. Have you seen the rally car?
Oh yeah, it's
The
one of my-
Mercedes.
That's amazing.
Can you
It's
look up the
C107
Mercedes SL
C107?
C107 rally car?
Yeah,
That shit was
with
hot.
the lights and everything.
Yeah.
It's such a cool car.
There you go. Get a good picture sideways on dirt. That's what we're looking for there. Yep, there it is. That's the fucking tits. Wow, wherever that rally is, I want to be there.
Yeah,
That's lovely. What is that? Monte Carlo, France, Spain. That looks
I have no idea, but-
awesome. Awesome.
I could see it being Italy or something. Who knows?
I don't know. The automatic gearbox makes those cars no fun at all.
Exactly.
But I'm sure someone could figure out a solution. Wow. Wait, hang on. Had an internet problem. Bullshit. Internet problem. There we go. Here we go. I have not I've not pre-screened these. Someone wants free wheels.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Have I ever tested any rally or rally cross style shock and spring combos on an otherwise stock suspension? What would be if you put coilovers or something on it? I don't think that's no, but I'm building a safari car. Okay, here's a question about wheels. Trevor wants to know: are there any structural advantages or disadvantages of monoblock versus multi-piece forged wheels?
Structural.
Get a little closer to the microphone for me.
Structural.
Yeah, or other advantages.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, multi-piece wheels were designed, a long time ago for racing, so that they're modular. You're creating one specific center, and you could change out different lips and barrels and such. Modern race cars, a lot of them you will see running monoblocks because they theoretically can get them lighter to a certain degree because you don't have the use of hardware and those types of things. But
Does
advantages.
it make them more reliable too? We don't really have wheels coming apart, do we? No, that's not a problem we have
Not
anymore.
really, no. Not necessarily, but at the same time, it's hard, right? When talking about this type of stuff, structural in terms of race cars. Well, these race cars don't run their wheels for the whole season, right?
True.
They're running for 2 or 3 races and they get retired.
Yeah, in best case scenario or worst case scenario, they're in a series of rotation with 20,
Right.
30 other wheels,
Exactly. So it's like you're not going to see that type of fatigue through a wheel in terms of multi-piece or
And what about on a street car? Doesn't matter.
On a street car, I mean, of course, a 3-piece is nice. You bend a lip, you replace a lip.
Yeah.
You know, you bend a monoblock. I mean, you can definitely bend it back, but you crack it. I mean, a forged wheel, as soon as you weld on a forged wheel, the metallurgy changes like crazy as opposed to a cast wheel, right? Because the molecular structure is so much closer together. As soon as you start heating that up, you're basically reheating it again, like heat treating it. It becomes crazy brittle.
Yeah.
It's like guys who go out there and anodize their forged wheels, where they're going to go ahead and break in half as you start driving on them. It's you don't want to heat up a wheel too much.
That happens if you anodize a forged wheel?
Oh yeah, you don't want to anodize a forged wheel, especially hard anodize or any sort of like heat.
So what do you just powder coat?
Powder coat, but majority
paint?
Majority of motorsport stuff is their painting. The reason they're painting is just because it keeps the structure together. You know, much especially in a forged production or magnesium, you can't. You know, it's a paint type process.
Yeah. What, you know, if you were looking at a set of wheels, you know, several sets of wheels, you got a set of wheels that's, let's call it, you know, $200 for 4 wheels, and then a set that's $800 for 4 wheels, and then a set that's like $2,500 for 4 wheels, and then a set that's $10,000 for 4 wheels.
Right.
What do you really work me from the bottom to the top in terms of what you're looking at, what you get for a set of wheels, like at those kind of price points?
I mean, let's face it, right? I mean, to a certain degree, DOT, JWL, VIA, all these different standards, TÜV over in Germany, all dictate whether a wheel is going to be safe or not. Theoretically, here in America, you can make a wheel out of cardboard and still sell it as a wheel. It's just the way America works. I wish there was more there in terms of manufacturing, but it's not. So you get a lot of companies, you know, that are there. I mean, it's tough because some wheels are used for motorsport, some wheels are used for street. But in terms of like manufacturing, you look at a set of $400 wheels, let's say from I don't need to name any companies, but certain companies that are there that are super low price point. You know what? It's going to be a decent wheel at this point. You know, technology's come far enough and the price points are there that you're going to get a decent wheel. It's probably not going to look very good. You're going to have dual drilled bolt pattern, you know, because it's easier for them to keep it in stock so they can sell to 2 different cars instead of one. You know, those are things you're going to get, and it's not going to be a brand that necessarily is, you know, as respected in the community as what's there. You know, you step up to the next one. Sure, you get something that's a little more respected. It's pretty much the same price point. You step up to the next one. Maybe you get a flow form wheel, something that's actually spun out.
That's when you get to like the $1,200 for a set, maybe.
Yeah, or more.
My flow forms they were HREs, so they're not.
They're a little more actually.
They're a little more.
Yeah.
So
they're
I
probably
think maybe 2 Gs for a set of 4.
Yeah.
And that was on a vet, so.
Yeah, exactly. And realistically, okay, so you're doing that, and it's going to be a little more money, but you're going to get a lighter weight wheel. The quality is going to be, I mean, if they're if they're going to be ISO 9001 approved, if it's a good quality factory, you're going to get a very similar quality product. You're just going to get necessarily maybe a slightly stronger product, a slightly lighter product, and a better brand, better customer service. You'll get that type of stuff behind it because you're paying more for the product. Yeah. But theoretically, it's like saying, you know, are you buying the deodorant that's from CVS brand, or are you going to go ahead and like jump up to the organic one, or there are differences there, but of course in the end it's like they're made for the same purpose. Kind of like the FDA, it's like they're not going to let you die. I mean, you don't think so? I guess that's probably another argument.
You'd hope.
Yeah.
But who knows?
So it just depends. I mean, so realistically, it's difficult, but there's also different.
The last one up there, you're talking about forged wheels.
Well, you get into $10,000 wheels, but that's a whole so it's like 6,000 is one thing, like 15,000 is another, right?
Okay, so wait, at 6,000, what comes into my head is like a 3-piece forged, finished in a custom color for a BMW M4. That's like what I think is
very
like a $6,000
specific,
wheels.
like fit to your big brake kit with your specific offsets, with all of your different details that you had to have, and we deal with that. We have wheels that are.
I want a gold valve stem.
Yeah. I mean, we get guys that, I've turned people down before who've wanted so many details that I just say, I probably will never be able to achieve your level of perfection on what we're looking to do, just because you want 12 different colors with carbon fiber this and everything else, that like somewhere along the line there's going to be some sort of small blem, and they won't cover it afterwards. So it's just not going to work.
If you go from your $6,000 custom fit, custom colored, custom size, custom offset, from there to 15, what happens? From there, 15 is a one-off.
You get a gold chain and like I mentioned,
it literally is 15 a one-off wheel design.
I don't know of many companies that are doing just one-off wheel designs. The engineering and programming, if you are doing FEA analysis, if you really are running through the engineering side of things to make sure things are like legit. There's a lot of work that goes into these wheels. I mean, so it's like, sure, one-offs are great and things, and we've done little things here and there for certain companies, but a $15,000 wheel, honestly, it's just a brand name.
Yeah.
It's just like saying, well, why would you buy a shirt from this guy besides this guy when it's 12 times the price?
I completely understand. Watches, my friend.
There you go.
Watches.
There you go.
Seiko tells time just as well as a Rolex, if
There
not
you go.
better.
And that's the thing, and you get to a point where it's like, you kind of reach a threshold, right? Well, this is good. Mm-hmm. Anything below this is kind of not so good, but this is good.
Yeah.
Anything above that doesn't really do anything better.
Yeah.
It just either looks better, it feels better, there's details there, the community that you like.
Yeah.
They're
At what point do you, if you're the customer instead of the salesman, at what point to you do the returns become diminishing? Once you pass flow form, maybe, or once you pass a monoblock forged, or
I don't think so, because for me it all depends on different cars, right?
is it all just relative? If you're spending $5,000 on a wheels for a car that's worth 10, you've surpassed it.
Yes. I mean, I do that though too, so I can't say anything wrong. I can't
It's
say
your
anything.
responsibility as the owner of the company.
And I love some of these $10,000 cars I love. So it's very difficult in that side of things. But I mean, it really just comes down to personal preference, because I've got cars that are super expensive that run nothing, very inexpensive wheels, but I've got cars that are worth not very much, but I had to have a 14 by whatever 3-piece, and it just costs more money, but I think to a certain degree it just depends on the car. I don't think everybody has to have some crazy forged wheel and have to have these different things. I think if the wheel looks good and it's good quality and it's from a brand that you trust and they'll take care of you regardless of what's there, I think it's good. I mean, wheel's a wheel at this point, to a certain degree.
The manufacturing processes have been more or less established.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to do it, but
the standards have been established,
Yes.
and if you meet the standards, you're going to get a wheel of
For the
reasonable quality.
For the most part, yes. Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of people downplay, because all of our forged wheels are manufactured in the U.S. All of our cast wheels are manufactured in Asia. Some people get frustrated about that, but in reality, you can't make a cast wheel in the U.S.
Yeah.
And even if you could,
we got priced out of that.
And even if you could, though, like some guy started a new foundry, I don't know if I'd trust him, because the guy over there, in Taiwan's been making wheels for Porsche for the past 10 years. Well, I'm gonna trust him more than some new guys that's made in the USA, and it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate, but it's just the way
you want
the
to
game
give
is
the
played.
American guy a try.
I want
You'd
to
order a
so
sample,
bad,
right? You'd order a sample.
Yeah.
I try anything that appears high quality and is made in America. I will try.
But a wheel is so much different, because you can't do the appears high quality
That's
thing
true.
until all of a sudden you're, so it's difficult.
Well, there's your standards. If it meets the standards, or there are other factors.
That's the whole
like,
thing too. Is DOT doesn't mean anything.
Oh, they're not.
Look at what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like
He's not doing.
I mean,
not doing
theoretically, I could sell paper mache wheels until they blow apart, and people, and it doesn't. There's nobody really.
The BBB will come after you.
Correct you. That's pretty right. Right.
Pretty much it.
So,
right.
So the U.S. is a little more difficult, but I mean, it's tough. That's why TÜV is so important and all those different things over in Germany and European.
But you guys do that shit.
Yeah. We test to TÜV. We test to JWL, VIA, all those different things. I mean, it's difficult making wheels, but at the same time, we test to all of those things. We're in an ISO 9001 approved factory. All of our forged wheels, we do all FEA analysis, engineering, everything in house before anything gets produced. I mean, it's
there's a lot behind that shit.
There is.
Yeah. There's the loads on, the math of the loads on the wheels and tires is
and you got guys like, oh, hey, can I get a set of Turbo Max 17x8? And they're going to put them on a freaking Mack truck. And you're like, whoa. We didn't know that, and all of a sudden it's like, don't put some small wheel. It's not low rated for your car.
All of a sudden someone's going, these wheels are shitty, and you're like, oh, you put them on a fucking Super Duty.
On a freight train, it's not supposed to be there.
Which someone, the last question before we get out of here. So do you have the most ridiculous request you've ever gotten to make a set of wheels for somebody, either sponsored or otherwise?
The most ridiculous, huh? I guess, that's a tough one. I mean, to be honest, a lot of stuff. The most ridiculous stuff usually comes from Ken Block. I mean, I
funny.
love Ken, but it's always like this thing where it's like,
can you make something for an RS 200?
I got this project. Oh yeah, you got a project? Yeah. What is it? Can't tell you. Okay, cool. What's it got? Brakes. What kind of brakes? They're secret. Okay, cool. Gosh, what offset do you need? Really wide. It's like, there's never like anything specific, and it's super difficult because you're trying to figure these things out, and we're all working on it together. But it's because Ken just goes insane. I mean, look at the Hoonicorn. It's like, it's not a car that's off the shelf. It's like, we're going to dream.
Thing that doesn't exist.
Exactly. And I think that really Ken is always that person really more than anything, because it's always this thing where we've gotten to a point where we're like, please send us the hub of your vehicle and the brakes so we can make sure that we get
Just
this correct.
send us a box with a hub and a brake on it.
Literally, we do that.
That's
no
so
joke.
funny.
No joke, because it gets to the point where like the first Gymkhana 3, after Gymkhana 3, we did Gymkhana 4. And he was like, oh yeah, no, we're running Ford F-150 hubs, 5x135. And I'm like,
is that what's on that Hoonicorn?
not anymore. No, that's like Corvette type stuff, hubs and stuff. But on this previous car, the Fiesta that he was running, it had like Ford F-150 hubs, and I'm like, wait, what?
That's
My
hilarious.
back pad isn't even big enough to fit a PCD that large. The largest is Porsche at 5-130. Why do you need a 5-135? It's like, well, because that's what rally cars use, or that specific build. So,
well, did that help you get the knowledge to build actual race wheels now?
Very much so, but they're all very different.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's crazy. But being small, it's like we don't have the budget that OZ and all these other companies have to do this. But I mean, we're having fun and we're chasing after it, and we're gonna do some cool stuff. So
the cars look good at Gatibil and like 1,000 horsepower Lancia Integrale.
Did you see the Fox body, by the way, with the Viper engine, big turbo on our wheels, with the
no,
full
but I
Group
would like
B,
that.
with the full Group B shells that come off? Like, look up MICHAELREYES, Michael Reyes.
That's gonna come up with a lot of
that
garbage.
didn't work. Look up Mustang, Michael Reyes, or look up. Sorry, actually, you can look up. Or that might work.
Group B,
look up
Fox body.
Vipox. Look up Vipox Mustang. VIPOX.
Hope the audience really likes this segment.
I know.
Oh wow. Oh that. Oh yes. I did see that at SEMA.
Beast mode.
Yeah, and all of that, and then it's got fucking phantom lights on it. You know what I mean?
I know.
Some people need to know when to stop.
But that's a Gatbill car. It's literally a tube frame chassis with a big.
It's very cool.
It's just
It's a winner.
It's Gatbill.
It's a winner.
Though.
It's a winner.
Gatbill.
We need to go. We'll get an Airbnb.
All right.
Like, when is it? What time of year? Do you know?
There's a couple different ones. One's in the ice. One's in the summer.
Is there one in June?
Probably.
Because I got tickets to Pearl Jam in Amsterdam in June. Maybe I could 2-for-1 it.
Jeremy's spoken. Let's do this.
Seriously,
Okay?
dude. Jeremy's spoken Gatibil in a fucking tube frame Fox body. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Thanks for coming in, Crook.
Yeah.
Good fucking show, buddy.
Lots of fun.
Thanks for coming down, dude.
Of course.
I appreciate it. What do you want to plug? 1552 Wheels?
1552, my amazing wife, and I got married, so I have to say that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm engaged now. I'm on the way.
Yeah.
You know?
It's big, man. If you need help, let me know.
How do I not spend $100,000 and still have something fun?
We'll talk
is
after.
That possible?
Yeah, it actually is. We did an amazing wedding.
All right, cool. We'll circle back on that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 15 written out in English, and then the number 52.com.
Yep.
They make wheels that look like they go on DTM and Group B cars and Ken Block's cars.
Yep.
And then they have a Fuchsish wheel for Magnus Walker's cars.
Yes.
Not a bad gig, huh?
No, it's fun.
And I need to see before you leave the rendering for a Porsche rally car.
It's coming.
Must see.
Yes.
Must see.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Crook. I appreciate it. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. All you need is a thing to speak into and a connection to the internet and hopefully something to say. Thanks, guys. I will see you next week. Thanks to Matt Crook for coming in. Timmy! Goodbye.